My favorite part of litigation, I think that's something Christina and I share mutual joy in, is depositions. Depositions for us is where we often win the case. We're successful in our early settlements because of our techniques at depositions. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And I think that in order to get the most effective deposition and to elicit the most out of someone that you're deposing is a very strong prep. Knowing your case in and out, knowing exactly the information that you're seeking prior to asking the questions that you're asking, knowing the answers that you're anticipating, and being able to pivot when the answers are something that you might not expect.
It's during the deposition, it's our opportunity to take our witness that we're deposing. We turn them into their own expert as a human being. And once we do that and establish a set of standards for them that they live by, pointing out how they didn't comply in this particular situation is a very successful strategy that we use often.
Michael and myself are very comfortable at being in a room with somebody in a situation that might not be necessarily comfortable or a comfortable environment. And so we're very comfortable at being uncomfortable or being in a room where that is the kind of energy that we're feeling. And oftentimes the person being deposed gets rattled from that, and we maintain a sense of calmness.
One of my favorite deposition moments, doing a deposition on a client, not a client, it was, we were defending the case, and the plaintiff was testifying. They said that they injured their right shoulder and couldn't lift up their arm. And throughout the entire deposition, they were complaining about their right shoulder. At some point along the way, I said, "Which shoulder did you injure again?" It was my right shoulder. "Could you raise that hand so we don't have any confusion?" They went like this. At that point, I looked at my adversary, he looked at me, we both kind of laughed and said, "Let the record reflect that the witness just thrust his right hand up over his head that he said that he couldn't lift."
If you dig enough, the truth will eventually show itself.
Oy. What about you? Favorite deposition moment?
Oh boy. No, that's a favorite deposition moment. This is not going on, but let me try to think.
I have another one.
Do you?
I have which one was it with on the fraud where the guy admitted to it? That was CC? With the guy who admitted to the fraud. They said, "Oh yeah, we were in a fraud ring. I was running the whole thing."
That might have been me.
Yeah. Okay. One of our favorite moments at depositions, also EUOs, examinations under oath, was when Christina was doing an examination under oath, and we were investigating an accident that was suspicious, so we were moving forward with a fraud investigation, helping the SIU. And Christina, after some time, got the witness to admit that they were running a fraud ring. And, we don't always have aha moments like that, but on that particular occasion, just through the techniques that were used to get to that point, to have that person finally say, "All right, I was running a fraud ring," that was enjoyable.
Right, well, I was going to say that also, just to piggyback off of that, is that you don't oftentimes get that aha moment, but if you're asking the right questions, you tend to lead a witness down a path where that aha moment might just present itself.
I'd say on the largest majority of cases where depositions take place, we're winning or losing at that stage. We're going to have a very good idea of the liability on that case and the value of the injuries after our depositions. On third-party cases, for the insurance carriers, reporting is critical, and the deposition report is vital because the adjuster or the claims examiner is going to be reviewing that deposition report prior to reviewing the transcript. So we try and give the relevant information in a limited amount of words. We won't write a 10-page report unless it's required, but for the most part, we try and keep it short and sweet with what's actually relevant without wasting too much time. And that goes for the actual deposition itself, especially for the carriers, because it's hours. We try and keep things short and sweet. We don't go through a script that's irrelevant. A lot of times we'll see attorneys that just, you roll your eyes because they're going through a script asking questions that have nothing to do with the case. We don't do that. We stay focused on what we need to stay focused on and hone in on that.
And I think an important, very important part of our job as attorneys in providing those reports is the promptness of providing those reports. Most oftentimes, an adjuster of ours will get that report on the same day that the deposition was held, and we use the same forms for each of our deposition reports so that they know exactly in bullet point form and header form exactly what transpired at the deposition without having to get bogged down with the ins and outs of every piece of testimony. I think that to provide them with something like that is just easily digestible for them.
And preparation of our clients for a deposition, we prepare a lot, and we always walk into something fully prepared, sometimes over-prepared, but for depositions,
There's no such thing.
there's no such thing as over-prepared.
such
Yes,
thing.
you're correct. That's true. For our clients, we go over the facts, go over the testimony, but we can never tell our client what to say. That's a big mistake. Some attorneys know what they want their client to say, so they try and give them or feed them what they want them to say beforehand. But that, for my experience, having watched that happen with other attorneys, it's almost always disaster. It's just, they don't feel it. You want your clients to tell the truth.
Right.
That's the advice.
Right, and that's pretty much how we finish every prep with mostly all of our clients is the bottom line is just tell the truth. And I think that that's the way to go, and I think that's intelligent, as our prep for them.
Agreed.